So on Thursdays, they're called noise days. So we go in the indoor and they would blast crowd noise on Thursdays to get you ready for game situations. And so, and it was essentially a full practice. We were in bulbs. So like you're wearing everything besides knee pads essentially. And so it's a full practice. And after that, we would do a crazy leg workout, which would be like 10 by 10 squats and then lunge 400 meters, or like there's just a bunch of different things. And I would like go 100, like I would load up the bar as much as I could and like do as much as I could, which probably was not a good idea. And so a combination of just getting like beat up on and lifting probably too much, that's when I got a tear in my labrum, in my hip labrum. But I didn't I didn't know this at the time though. So
this is during season.
Yeah, so this is during the season. This is I want to say it started around halfway through the season. The way it started is I had like a little kind of like stiffness and pain in my back. And so like I like the first week, I felt like I just pulled my glute kind of thing.
Yeah,
and
like
then,
your upper butt, your lower back type.
Right. Yeah. And then about a week into having that feeling, I wasn't able to like bend over all the way. Like I couldn't like touch my toes, and it progressively got worse to the point where like I couldn't like bend over more than like this without having like
So
crazy.
during this, you're still going practice, still working out, doing all that stuff, or are you like on light?
No, yeah. So for I would say 2 or 3 weeks, I pushed through it. And like, actually, yeah, for the first 2 or 3 weeks, I pushed through it and didn't say anything to the trainers, which was stupid. But yeah, so I just kind of just kept going. And then when it got to the point where I couldn't lean over, that's when I had said something to the trainers. I'm like, hey, like I'm having this problem. And then I got to a point where I couldn't. So I sat out for maybe like 2 weeks or so, and it had gotten better. It was really the reason I couldn't bend over was probably because of the inflammation pressing on my sciatica, and it would just like shoot down my leg. It was terrible. But still at this time I didn't get an X-ray. I didn't really get anything. It's in season, so like I'm just trying to get through the season. And so I can't exactly remember how long I took off, but a week or two. Took off, came back, and still bothering me, but I'm just kind of like pushing through it. And then I probably went another week, and then it flared up really bad. I could barely walk, couldn't sleep. And then I sat out again, and then I sat out until we went to the bowl game. So I probably sat out a total of like, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks. And so I sat, because when I sat out the second time, I was like, all right, I'm going to sit out until this is all the way better, because I don't want to I don't want to make this worse. So like the objective of sitting out into the bowl game was to be fine for the bowl game and be able to like potentially play, because in a bowl game, that's a situation where some guys transfer. There might be an opportunity where I get to play. So that was kind of the goal.
So during this process, because I mean, you hear about injuries like from a starter, he's out 3 to 4 weeks, something like that, and he's getting all this attention, he's getting all the fit. What's happening to you in this 3 to 4 weeks? Does people even notice that you're off the scout team right now, or is there just 2 or 3 other backs there to fill your role? Is BA trying to help you through this? Do you have, you know what I mean? Like, is there anybody that's giving you any kind of attention through this?
So definitely not a whole lot of attention. I will say, there's probably 3 or 4 trainers in the football training room. The head trainer really isn't going to deal with me a whole lot. It really just depends on who's in there. If there's nobody in there, then they'll help me out. But it definitely does come on a priority basis. If there's a guy that is a starter or a scholarship guy, he's going to get their attention first before they have my attention. So definitely didn't have the same attention for sure, which doesn't help. But I can't, like, you also, there's only so many people, so there's only, like, you really can't, it does suck, and it like puts you in a bad position, but there's nothing you can really do about it. So yeah, they told, like, they had me doing rehab stuff, and they tell me, hey, you got to come in this time and do your stuff. And I mean, like, as a scholarship guy, they're gonna really be on that person, like, you have to be here. They're gonna call you and make sure you're in there. For me, it was kind of like, you just come in, like, and if you're not here, that's on you,
right?
But I did all my rehab. I was cold during this time. I was big in the cold plunges, and that was like the one thing that would really help it, because it was just a lot of inflammation. So that would alleviate the inflammation a lot. But so let's see. So yes, I'd sit out. I'm doing my rehab and everything, and it gets to the point by the time the bowl game comes around where I feel like good, but like it's still not gone. And I was like, but I'm still just like I might have a chance to maybe get in on special. I wasn't gonna get in at running back, I knew that, but maybe I can get in on special teams. But so I go there, and I just remember the plane ride there being terrible because sitting down with that injury was, oh my God, it was terrible. And for some reason this plane must have been old or something, but the like pressure in that plane was terrible. Like I had everybody's ears were like felt like they were gonna explode. It was bad. But I was too focused on my back feeling like it was gonna explode. So but yeah, so we go to the bowl game. It was great. We went to the Frisco Bowl in Texas. That was awesome. It was a great experience. And we didn't end up winning, which was unfortunate. But we didn't even have our starting quarterback or anything. Like I didn't end up playing. But, I did practice throughout the time, which was terrible. I was just eating anti-inflammatories.
Oh, sure.
It was not good. But yeah, so we do that, right? And then the season's over. So I left off when the bowl game ended, right? And the season ended. So bowl game was probably like December 18th or something like that. So go home for Christmas. Then we come back like the first or second week of January. So we have a couple weeks off. And so throughout that time, I'm pretty much just resting the whole time. I wanted to let my hip heal. But at the time, I didn't know it was my hip. I didn't know what was wrong with it. They had given me an x-ray. I had gotten an MRI at the time. They showed that it was a hip. I had a labrum tear. They knew that I had a labrum tear, but with the way that my symptoms were, where it was like hurting my back, and it was more like behind the common symptoms of labral tear is like more in the groin area. So they didn't think it was a labral tear. They thought it was something else. They thought it was maybe muscular or something. So I rest and everything. I feel great. I come back. The first day I'm back, I go play basketball at the rec, and I was balling. Like I'm not good at basketball, but I was all over the place, and I felt good. And the whole time it wasn't bothering me at all. I'm like, oh, this is awesome, and so do that. Next day I wake up, it is throbbing, like worse than it was before I had taken the break. And yeah, I was definitely I was like really just like kind of demotivated a little bit. Like I was like, damn, like this is just very nagging. It had been like a couple months at this point. And so we now restart. We're back in the winter, same spot that I was when I got on the team. So we get through that whole fourth quarter conditioning program and everything. And
did you go through all that fourth quarter conditioning?
So I go through the first day of it, and like barely made it through the first day. And at that point, I was like, that was when I was like, all right, I can't keep doing this. So I told the trainers that I'm done. Like I can't, we got to figure this out. And I got to either get surgery. I got to like stop doing everything until I can play. Cause I could not like go 100%. It just wasn't feasible for me to keep doing that. And so throughout the whole fourth quarter thing, it was like very draining because I was with like the injured people, and we would be on like the assault bike, and so I was still doing stuff. I wasn't like just completely resting. It definitely wasn't as hard as what they were doing, but
you're not really giving your body a chance.
Yeah,
to heal,
exactly.
Though.
I was not giving my body a chance to heal at all, and it was that period of time from when I came back in the winter up until about March was like probably one of like the worst times in my life. Like it was bad. Like I couldn't sleep for more than like 30 minutes without waking up.
Oh wow.
There was days where like it was hard for me to like even walk. It was really bad. And it was not only like the physical hurting, but like I also just felt like I needed to do more. You know what I mean? Like I had gotten to this point. I was so far into this now, and I'm like, should be proving myself right now, but I can't do anything. And
right.
Obviously at the same time, the coaches are, silently judging you for not doing and not participating and stuff. And so, yeah, it's just, that was not a good time. And throughout from January to March, I was not given like a solution. Like they didn't tell me, hey, like gotta get surgery, or it was kind of just like, I was in limbo.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah. So
like you didn't matter enough for them to take it. Not that they didn't care about you as a person, but it's like you weren't a priority for that team.
Exactly.
As far as the med team. And at the same point in time, you're not going to your own doctor because you think they got your best interest in mind. So you're just kind of sitting there like, am I going to get better? Am I not? And I can imagine, I know exactly how you'd feel as far as these guys are all judging me. They think I'm just wussing out.
Yeah.
All that stuff that I worked so hard to do is not mattering at all right now.
Yeah.
And for you mentally, that had to be a tough part in time.
Very. Yeah, definitely. And then honestly, I can't exactly remember the point in time where they told me you got to get surgery. But I would see the team physician every once in a while. He would kind of like check out my hip and be like, they just didn't think it was my labrum for whatever reason. And looking back to my symptoms and from talking to the surgeon that I had my surgery from, they should have probably caught it a long time, like a lot longer before, or a lot shorter before they actually did. But either way, they ended up saying, okay, so the doctor was like, you can get the surgery, you can play through it, or you can stop playing. And so at this point, I'm like, well, I can't play through it. Like, I have tried that. There's just no possible way that would be possible. And at this point, I was not content on stopping here. So I was like, all right, we're going to get the surgery. And so I had my knee surgery back home, Dr. Slinker. It was that period of time from when I came back in the winter up until about March was like probably one of like the worst times of my life. Like, it was bad. Like, I couldn't sleep for more than like 30 minutes without waking up.
Oh, wow.
There was days where like it was hard for me to like even walk. It was really bad. And it was not only like the physical hurting, but like I also just felt like I needed to do more. You know what I mean? Like I had gotten to this point. I was so far into this now, and I'm like, should be proving myself right now, but I can't do anything. And obviously at the same time, the coaches are, silently judging you for not doing and not participating and stuff. And so, it's just, that was not a good time, and 100%. Not really trust the doctors after having gone through like 6 or 7 months of like them not figuring it out. So I did not have a whole lot of trust in, not that they weren't qualified, but just my personal experience. It wasn't super great. So
makes you think too, like, I mean, obviously I get that you're a walk-on, but you're still an athlete, you're still a player. And it's like, man, I wonder how many, and not necessarily just at Marshall, but other campuses across the country where NFL talented players have their careers sidebarred. Medical team just does not catch it.